What many of you might not know about me is that I am a huge G.I. Joe fan, and so when I heard about these brand new O-Ring ReAction Plus figures from Super 7, well, let's just say I got super excited. So at this point, I probably should fully disclose that I am a huge O-Ring fan, and I think the O-Ring action figure might just be the most perfect kid action figure toy there is. But right now, what we've got here are the brand new Super 7 O-Ring figures, and I'm very excited to get them. Now, I was a little bit disappointed. I walked into a Target, I found these two, I scurried and searched through the aisles, but I couldn't find the Bat, and I couldn't find Snake Eyes. So a little disappointed, but very happy that I could find these. Well, that I did find these, and that I was able to get them. So, and it's actually kind of cool. Target was currently having a sale. I don't know if they are right now, but they were having a sale. What was it, $10 off of $20 or $40. So, I mean, these are like $5 off. I got them for about $15 each. I can't complain about that because I didn't pay the $20, which we might discuss price a little bit later. But yeah, these things retail for like $20. Ouch. But nice little Target sale, $15. Too bad I won't be able to count on that forever. Anyway, here's CoverGirl, there's Cobra Commander. Let's flip this package around so that you can see what the back looks like. And it looks a lot like a old style. I mean, these cards look old style for the most part, except for it says ReAction in the bottom left corner, it says Super 7 in the top left corner, but there's a lot of similarities. We have a single language file card. Now, if you've been buying Classified or all these retro things, I mean, come on, this is heaven right here. G.I. Joe heaven is an English full-on file card. We have a cross sale of 4 figures: Snake Eyes, CoverGirl, Cobra Commander, Cobra B.A.T. Now the cool thing is, it actually says right here, and let's bring this just a little bit closer, it actually says right there that it's comic Snake Eyes and comic B.A.T. So you kind of have an idea of what it is you're getting yourself into when you're going to buy which ones you want to buy. So that's cool. You know, create your own G.I. Joe mobile strike force and collect G.I. Joe weapons figures and Cobra Command the enemy army. So there's a lot of really cool things. It has the white border. I know some of us weirdos, you know, we really like things that look a little bit like, you know, how they used to go because they looked cool. Over here on the side, you do have information. It includes Commander pistol and grenade pistol. So it even says right here on the side what it includes. That's so cool. You don't get that like on any action figure anymore. What exactly is included? You get a whole bunch of pictures, maybe, if you're lucky. No longer does it say, what was it, 7, 6 plus or something, I can't remember, but it does say ages 14 and up. So apparently if you are 13 or younger, you are not, and I repeat, you are not allowed to have these, so don't even think about it. Anyway, CoverGirl is the Wolverine driver, Cobra Commander is the enemy leader. Up here you got Cobra the enemy, and I know y'all are just, you know, in love with looking at the packages, but let's actually get these figures open and take a look at them. Here are the 2 figures freed from their plastic prison. We got CoverGirl on the right, we have Cobra Commander on the left, and, you know, just because I tried to put her in an awesome pose, she decided not to stay there. So stick around here because we're going to be comparing these figures with a pile of various types of figures along the way, and we're going to talk a little bit about classic G.I. Joe and Super 7 Joe and some things here in between. So the first thing I'm guessing a lot of people are curious about, because I've been asked at least a couple times already, how do these feel? Do these feel like classic O-Ring figures? And my first answer is no, they don't. They feel a little bit different. What does that mean? Well, the closest to a classic G.I. Joe figure I have, as I blur the screen up, is Slaughter's Marauders Lowlight from 1989. This is my original, if you can't tell. Maybe you can't tell. There's a lot of paint wear on this figure. He saw a lot of playtime, and I know it was a weak point, but he's missing a couple thumbs on, well, both hands. So I feel this figure, and then I feel this figure, and they definitely feel different. What does that mean? Well, I can't tell you exactly, because the one big thing that I'm noticing between the Super 7 O-Ring G.I. Joe figures versus Hasbro's Classic is the smoothness. These figures are crazy smooth. Let's come a little bit closer here if we can, and so you can see there is just smoothness everywhere. Yes, there is stuff molded on, like, what is this, a calculator? Here's a pouch, a belt buckle, some straps that do nothing, I guess maybe hold the pant leg up, straight arm, back. I mean, these are what I would classify as smooth, flat figures. And these figures, I mean, look at the stuff. I mean, there's stuff all over here. We've got some wrinkles, we have some gatherings, we've got pockets, we've got this. Is this like an armor, a forearm shield? Pockets. We got even in the pant leg here, even though it's not like crinkly, wrinkly, or anything, you feel, or you can see the waves, and you can feel the waves in the plastic fabric. They are not a flat figure. And I think that's one of the biggest things that I noticed right away. Then they all fall down, right? The biggest thing I noticed between the new figures and the old figures is how smooth they are. And because of the smooth, let's get rid of this guy. We'll put her back here. Because of that smoothness, they make me think they're just simply a more upgraded ReAction figure. Here's a couple ReAction figures of the same characters to kind of give an example. The colors, I mean, it's not surprising the color palettes are very similar. I mean, it's the same company that makes these figures. But she's hard to stand. But yeah, I mean, the company, Super7, seems to typically make very smooth figures. Even the Ultimates are very smooth figures. There's really no interesting fabric waves or wrinkles or anything like that. You just get this. Now, I have to say, I mean, these are tons better than these ReAction figures. I am not a 5 POA person. I didn't grow up with 5 POA. I know some of you did, maybe a lot of you did, but I was kind of a toy snob in that when I saw anything less than an O-ring figure, I was like, I had no time for it. I got rid of it. I would sell it at a garage sale. I gave it away. I didn't like it. People would give it to me. I didn't like it. I never played with Star Wars figures. I didn't like them. They when you sat them down, their legs spread, and they were just really ugly and obnoxious looking. I know, I'm saying some horrible things here. I did not like anything that was less than an O-ring. So, maybe that's just because I grew up in that early O-ring, while maybe some of you grew up before O-ring and had the opportunity to play with figures before O-ring. I don't know what it is, but I've never liked anything less than an O-ring articulation. Now, I will say this here real quick. Here, let's take a peek here at CoverGirl. She warrants a much closer inspection here. So, first off, I want to tell everyone, welcome to the future of cold, soulless AI. Dun, dun. Look at this face on CoverGirl. Now, CoverGirl is my absolute #1 favorite G.I. Joe female character. And I know there's some of you out there who are desperate for the blonde look, but my CoverGirl is redhead all the way. Dark redhead, not like bright redhead like Scarlet. She is the dark redhead. And this is just okay. But look at this face. This is a face, what, only a mother could love? I don't know. Is that like an insult? Now, let's look at the ReAction face. That's a good-looking face. Super7, where in the world? What happened? How did you drop the ball on this? Why is this face, or even this head, not on this figure? Oh my goodness. I mean, even the hair. I mean, like I said, I'm more of the dark red, but even that's nicer hair. Now, I get it. This hair would cover this massively huge gaping hole of a back. But, come on. This face. That's a great face. Anyway, this one needs... I'm not going to use that. This one needs a little bit of white around the dark bits of the eyes. That will probably help a whole lot. But come on, really? This is what one of your first offerings is? A face like this? Come on, let's step it up. Now, I know Brian said in an interview at one point that these new O-ring figures were going to be based or kind of built similar to, if I remember correctly, like the 85, 86 figures. Well, you know what? Here, I have 89 low light, but this is Slaughter's Marauder's 89 low light, so he was actually more like 86. I have an 86 style dial tone here as well, and you can't see. Let's get the ReAction figures out of here for the moment. We might bring them back in a moment because the ReAction is tied so closely to ReAction Plus. Anyway, here's dial tone 85, 86, somewhere in there. This is actually the 2002 version. Come on, dude, stand. But look at the, can you tell that, wow, I'm totally off center here. Can you tell the difference between Classic Joe and Super 7 Joe? Now, this is not like a hit piece. I'm not trying to say, oh, these are horrible. You know, these are cool. I really do like them, but, you know, let's have a fair, what I would think is a pretty fair assessment of these things. But these figures have things on them. There's grenades, there's pads, there's fabric wrinkle. There's a lot of fabric wrinkle. This guy needs to iron more often, I would say. There's things, there's bandoliers, there's belt buckles, there's all sorts of things. And so, oh, I know, the other thing, I totally went off track. Look how wide these guys are. You know, these guys are kind of bulky. They have a little bit of muscle on them. So, I mean, they're more established figures. These ones are more like 83. And why do I say 83? Well, let's bring low light just a little bit closer again, and we're going to take a peek at his head, provided my camera will actually focus in on the dude. Okay, so take a look. Isn't that a sweet mug right there? He can look right, and he can look left. And guess what else he can do? He can almost look down and tie his shoes. That's cool, isn't it? That was, oh, and he can kind of look up just a little bit because, you know, he has to spot things at night. Let's bring Cobra Commander up front, up close, because, you know, this is not a bad Cobra Commander. This is not a bad one. I like his mask. I like his shield. He can look right, pretty nice. He can look left quite a ways. Actually, he's taken looking left almost to a whole new level, but I do see a little bit of a crack here when he looks a little bit left. We'll have to check out that screw. And he can... Anticlimactic. Wait a minute. He can't look down. He can't tie his shoes. Good thing he is wearing boots. He cannot look down. Look at that. He can't look up either. Supposedly, and I wish I had a mini screwdriver because I'd just crack this guy open real quick. Supposedly, he can only look left and right. Did I say these remind me more of an 83 figure than an 85 or 86 figure? I mean, if this is what they're going to be built like, just like when you're interviewing and telling people, tell us that. Because then we'd have a better... I was expecting more dial tone or low light level, not grunt, zap, scarlet. I mean, they're not bad figures. Let's take a look here at CoverGirl. She can look right. She has soft hair, kind of soft rubber hair. And she can look left. The AI can look left. And she cannot look down. She cannot look up. I'm sorry, CoverGirl. You are just gonna... You have a stiff neck. You're gonna only look left and right the rest of your life. So, you know, they probably... I have never cracked open a ReAction figure before. Some of you have. And I'm sure if I looked up on YouTube, there would be plenty of videos about that. I'm wondering if they've used the exact same neck and head construction that they do on their ReAction figures, just because that's what they know how to do. And maybe it would take more time and effort to design the more proper 85, 86, awesome, super articulated, up and down, let's call it Kung Fu neck joint. You know, if we can have a Kung Fu grip, let's do Kung Fu neck joint. Because I don't know what else to call it right now. So that's pretty sad that you can't do that. Does that take away the looks of the figure? Nah, not really. Does it take away the playability of the figure? Nah, not really. And you can still do all your fancy, cool, you know, O-ringy, you know, stuff that you like to do with O-ring figures. And actually, let's just go quick through the articulation because, you know, none of us know. Release. Ping. What the articulation is like on an O-ring figure. Apparently you look left and you look right. Arm rotates all the way around. Arms can go up about that high. Swivel bicep and a hinge at the elbow. O-ring at the waist. Can she sit? Kinda, mostly. Can she split? sit and split. That's about as far as she can go. And she has 90 degrees at the knee. And that's it. Pretty simple. Nothing at the ankle, nothing at the wrist, nothing at the thigh. And you know what? They were still playable. It's amazing how playable these things. I spent hours playing with these types of ears, and no, this is not a nostalgia trip for me. I'm not actually someone who likes that word. But anyway, there you go. And I did just actually notice something here. I've put this gun of hers, which, by the way, let's just admire the gun for a moment. That's a pretty cool looking gun. It's a very cartoonish looking gun. That's kind of cool, because I don't remember any figure actually coming. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it was gung-ho. Maybe somebody did. But one thing I noticed, I don't think I'm going to be able to show you very well. How close can I get? Well, that's as close as I can get, but I don't think you're going to see very well. There is hints of gray, and there's paint wear even. There you can see right there. That little black dot, that is paint wear. Paint that has chipped off or worn off by me taking that gun in and out of the hand a couple times. So you're probably, these might not be playable figures. I mean, these might be more display. So whatever that means. So anyway, there's a look at CoverGirl and Cobra Commander. No, actually, we're still looking at Cobra Commander, because the biggest question of all for Cobra Commander, and let me invite our good friend Retro Cobra Commander in, and let's just take him off that for a minute. Colors are very nice. Don't these guys look sharp in their blues? Their dress blues. We'll take a peek here at the back. Wait a minute. What's going on here? So I keep throwing my tweezers off to the left, and I need them on my right hand. What is this? So Hasbro got the retro backpack gun peg thing, correct? Why didn't Super 7? That's kind of a weird deal right there. Like, why can we not peg in his gun like we've only ever done forever? Like, forever. So, sorry, couldn't resist. But let's take a peek here at the guns, apparently, because they look similar, but they're not quite. It's like Super 7, you get 95%, somewhere in that, of the way there, and then it's like the last 5 to 10%, you lose steam, and you lose effort. And I know you have a certain style, and I know you have a certain way. But man, these are almost perfect. These are almost awesome. These are almost awesome. Okay, that's unfair, because these are cool. These are awesome. Are they $20 awesome? Probably for most of you, that's going to be a big no. Are they $15 awesome with the current Target sale? Oh, you're getting a little bit closer. Are they $10 awesome? Sure, why not? I've been buying Fortnite figures for between $10 and $15 for years now. I would say these are at least $10 to $15 of awesome. Is Miss AI CoverGirl? Just because she's my favorite character, I would buy her any day. But if she wasn't, no, I don't know. I don't know what it costs to make these. I don't know what their runs are. So there's a whole lot going in with development and manufacturing, production, shipment, delivery, every little aspect of the chain. So I really don't know what it costs to make these figures. I don't know what they need to make a profit. They put these at $20. So you know what? I just have to go by what they say. And I can either decide to like it or not like it. If I buy it, I can still not like it. I can buy something and still not like it. Here we have a Battle Armor Cobra Commander just for kicks and giggles. He actually looks a little bit short. And there he went. And there she went. Okay, let's just make it a trio. We'll get him out of the way. All right, so now we're going to move over to... Sorry, I'm having a whole lot of fun with this video. I hope you don't mind. But now we're going to take a look at a few other figures. I thought it'd be fun to bring in a couple other G.I. Joe figures, and the first one being a 2004 Snake Eyes. Why a 2004 Snake Eyes? I don't know, just because. I mean, I had him there. He's got like a little Beetlejuice head thing going on there. It looks like his head's kind of small, his shoulders are kind of broad. We have a 2002 Sergeant Stalker. These are O-ring figures. By the way, you can separate the middle, and there's a rubber band in there. So these are an O-ring figure. I like this Sergeant Stalker. I think this is for the early 2000 O-ring figures. I actually think this was a pretty good design. So there's a a Sergeant Stalker from 2002. Isn't that cool? So, oh, and here is Hasbro's brand. This is actually kind of an interesting comparison. We have Failsafe here. This is Hasbro's latest brand new O-ring G.I. Joe character. Brand new, never before released. So we have a little bit of a comparison there. So even they are doing more of a smoother look, kind of. The legs are smooth. There's some wrinkles up on the bicep areas. And he doesn't look quite as soulless, I would say, as CoverGirl. I know, we're going to just be talking about that and talking about that. I mean, he has a bit more of like a Channing Tatum. Is that his name? We'll just call him Gambit. That's right, we're going to call him Gambit. Looks more, I don't know, like a person than she does. That's not bad. I like the face on this guy. He's actually pretty good. So, that's not a bad figure. I like Failsafe. So, there's another comparison with a more modern Hasbro figure. Then we've got, I got a bunch of stuff over here. Let's take him off to the side. I have got a mess. It's like a warfield lane here. Just figures everywhere. Let's bring in a couple of recent retro figures. These have come recently with Transformer vehicles, and I thought it'd be kind of interesting. Let's take them off these pads, see if we can actually stand them up without the figure stands, because crazy that I expect figures to stand without a figure stand. So there you go. You can see a bit of a height comparison here with those, and you know, Super 7 O-ring figures, they look a little tall. That's actually kind of interesting. They look a little tall, and I just realized that. Let's put Failsafe back here for just a moment. Yeah, even Failsafe, I mean, yeah, he's just a little bit taller as well. So, I mentioned something earlier. There's this big hole on their back. So, if you look at Stalker over here on the left, you see this backpack hole. You see Cobra Commander's backpack hole. And then you see CoverGirl's backpack hole, and well, Zarana's you can't because she's wearing a backpack. So let's pop that off. And these are supposed to be about the same size as Classic. Do these fit? This is like a new video. Like, does it fit? You put it in there. No, it doesn't. The hole's too big. You would think that one of the things Super 7 would try to strive, especially if they're trying to pick up that nostalgic reigns of the classic O-ring figures, you would think, unless they've got some grand scheme, they would do their best. It might not be perfect, but do their best to, you know, allow maybe vintage backpacks or modern vintage retro backpacks to maybe fit in those figures. Why so different? I don't know. That's crazy. Even he's got that crazy. It's nuts. It's weird. You'd think you'd be a little bit closer. I mean, so here's just something to think about for a minute. Years from now, 10 and 20 years, when some of us are, not me, but some of you, I don't know, are too old to maybe care, you're going to have some younger people coming through, and maybe somebody somewhere just might want to collect this line. They're going to see these figures and maybe not initially know that there's a difference between them. They're going to get these figures, and then they're going to wonder, why in the world did someone make these figures and they weren't super compatible? Haha, super. Anyway, that's old beef. You know, I would think they'd be better compatible. Let's, get Zarana's gun off her hand. Let's give it to CoverGirl for a minute, and luckily, she can hold it. It looks kind of big. Does it look kind of big on Zarana, too? Zarana, I ain't knows you. There we go. I don't know. Does that look kind of big on Zarana? It might look a little big on Zarana. Zarana. Okay, I gotta quit that. That's just gonna go forever. Let's give Stalker this gun from the Super 7. And that's tight. Wow, that's a tight gun. So, Stalker could hold it. Does he look good? I don't know. What do you think? Does he look good with that gun? I mean, sure, it kind of looks good. It looks more cartoony, a classic. Yeah, I mean, I'd buy that. I mean, not buy it like pay money. I mean, I'd believe it. I think that would work. What about her? Can she carry the great Stalker's gun? I mean, actually, you know, the kind of funny thing is the ReAction version did actually come with a Stalker gun, which, hey, actually, let's take a look at this for a second. Let's try not to mix this up. So, Super 7's version is this one, and this is Hasbro's. Hasbro's is definitely a bigger gun. We'll just do that. Hasbro's is definitely a bigger gun. That's kind of funny, though, that the ReAction CoverGirl came with Staka's gun. And now I'm giving the O-ring CoverGirl. This actually really is kind of loose. Sure, now it's not. Turn it just right. But, yeah, I think that works. I think it looks okay. Let's see. Cobra Commander stepping up for duty. Cobra Commander. That actually wasn't Cobra Commander. His voice. So, let's see. ReAction Plus is holding retro CC gun. Not so bad. And what about vice versa? That's tight. These are made of some thick plastic. I'll just say that. Ah, let's stand you up, dude. Leader of the unfree world. Yeah, okay. Yeah, let's just, get time to put this thing away. Oh, wait a minute. That's right, it can't. It can't go on a backpack. Let's just go ahead. Dang it. Anyway, next up is Delta 17. And I'm just going to say this. I really, 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 really like these figures. Now, I won't tell you what I think. I'm going to make a video and tell you what I think about these figures. So, let's stand Delta 17 next to ReAction Plus. I keep forgetting to say where'd CoverGirl go? Oh, here she is. She's hiding with Stalker's gun. All right, so there's CoverGirl. And we got the mean lady over here. And we got Hit and Run Wannabe over here. It's actually Rooster. Just kidding. So there we got some Delta 17. Now, if you watched my review video of Delta 17, it already kind of established that this guy is a little bit taller, I think. So he is a little bit taller, so don't hold that against him. He had a nice growth spurt in high school, and he was like star of the basketball team, but whatever. Okay, now we gotta look here. Let's talk about what they did with the Delta 17 figures. Look at that face. I mean, this face, not her. Look at this face. That's really pretty compared to that face. This is a good face. I might not like the brightness of the lipstick, but that's a good face. Look at that face. Soulless, coldless, somethingness. AI, I will come for all your toys. This is like a horror movie waiting to happen over here. This is like, Night of the Living CoverGirl or something. But I do know something. Look how Delta 17 really shiny. ReAction Plus, not quite as shiny. I mean, still shiny, but not quite as shiny. So anyway, yeah, let's take a look here at the backpacks. Ready? 1, 2, lift off. Or drop point, or something. Let's put Delta 17 gun in, and, well, that's actually loose. We're gonna cry a storm here. Stalker, give me the gun. This is the really thick plastic. Please don't break. You know what the nice thing about the Delta 17? There we go. Yeah, she's coming for you with that cool cartoony gun. You know what the cool thing about these Delta 17 figures are? The fingers and hands are a little bit pliable. They're not like super rigid. The hands of these figures, on the other hand, are really rigid. This is, if you want to go classic, there's the nostalgia bug right there. You got some really rigid hands. So who knows what's going to happen in 20 years if these are going to start breaking. How's the crotch looking? That was a big problem with some G.I. Joe classic figures. Look at that crotch there. But I mean, looks like it's okay. The other thing I'm noticing with these ReAction Plus figures, and it's not a huge deal, I don't think. I think this is something that might get fixed, is it seems like the O-ring tends to go forward or tends to go back. Let's bring up her hands a little bit. So it tends to, I mean, I'm pulling it forward, but I'm just putting it where it kind of feels comfortable. So if you can see, there's a gap right there. And it tends to want to like go back a little bit, and there's a little bit of a gap right there. It's not quite center. Yes, Cobra Commander, equal opportunity here. It gets comfortable going back one way or the other. You can set it in and leave it, but if you bump it, then see, okay, there we go. There's a good example. I hit it this way, but notice he is still kind of off center. And it's actually kind of interesting. Earlier, as I was pulling this figure out, he does look good. He looks good. I noticed that, like, I felt like a stretch happen in here. Like, this is still tight. Really tight. And his was tight too initially, but like as soon as I pulled it open just a little bit, I felt like a stretch happened. And now it's like loose. So, and I noticed her arm has gotten to be kind of loose too. So, gonna have to watch this joint right there. That might be a future problem. Just is this satisfying? How satisfying is that? It's not. Okay, so here's Cover Girl. Here's Cobra Commander in the worst Cobra Commander voice you've probably ever heard. And my throat hurts. That's Super 7 ReAction Plus. I am still excited. I really like where this line could possibly be going. I'm not trying to say these are horrible and bad. These are so much better than... There's one. Than this guy. And this girl. So far better than ReAction. Okay, this face, we're going back there. This head should have been on that body. Let's just say that. If you have to choose one, this one on that body. Otherwise. But these ones are so much better than these ones. Let's just go back and redo all of them. But anyway, if you are still here, this has been a crazy long video. I hope that I haven't scared you off, and I wanted to kind of give a fairly lengthy, detailed analysis of these new Super 7 ReAction Plus figures because I think it's worth it, and I think a lot of people have been waiting for this day. So let's not cheapen it by a simple little, ooh, the arm bends and the knee bends and the color's right, and, you know, have a great day. You know, let's have a deep dive. Let's look. I mean, the body count back here is phenomenal. You know, we've had some fun here today. Thank you for joining me. If you are definitely still here, I really appreciate it. I will see you in the next video. And just kidding, I'm back because, well, I totally forgot I was going to do some height comparisons with some of the more modern styled O-ring action figures. If you are still here, you are indeed superstars of the channel. Please leave a comment saying that you are a superstar or something to that effect. But anyway, over here on the left, we have an heavy armored toys. Here's Strike Force Alpha, Skeletron made by Callsign Longbow, and a Zyka Riot Commando. So it kind of gives you an idea of how they stack up. I'm not going to go through any more details than that, but this is how they stack up height-wise with those action figures. Now, truthfully, I'm heading out of here. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.